In this video, we're going to go over a tool called interference detection. When you finish an assembly, it's very common to want to check for interference between mating parts. The interference detection tool is located on the Evaluate tab of the Command Manager. So, I'm going to click on interference detection, and you'll see that by default the entire assembly is selected as the components to check for interference within. So with the entire assembly selected, it's going to check for interference between all of these mating parts. And then I want to point your attention down to the options. There's a series of options, but one that's really important is this Create Fasteners folder option. Why this is so important is because the way we've modeled our fasteners and our tapped holes, let me make this transparent so that you can see. The way we've modeled our tapped holes and our fasteners is to the thread diameter. In other words, we're not actually showing the thread. We're just showing the thread diameter. So here you can see that the fastener is actually interfering with the material because the threads are not showing. If the threads were showing, there would be no interference. But because of the way we modeled this to make it more simplified and easier for the computer to handle, we would calculate interference right here. So what we can do is, when we're using the interference detection tool, is select this Create Fasteners folder, and it's going to put all of the fastener related interferences into its own separate folder so that the more apparent interferences in our model will become visible. So at this point, I'm going to hit Calculate to calculate all of the interferences that are within my model. And it looks like all the interferences that are current are only in the fasteners folder. Just to make sure that there's not any huge problems, I'm going to go down the list just simply by left clicking, and the interference, when you click on it, it's highlighted in red. And what's highlighted in red here is indeed the thread portion of the fastener, so I know that that's not actually an interference. It is just showing up that way because of the way that we modeled it. So I'm going to put this in a view and then left click in the results, and I can choose the down arrow to cycle through all of my interferences. And so far, it is just the tapped portion of the fasteners. But here is one that might be of a little interest to us. All fasteners have a slight fillet where the thread diameter meets the shoulder. Here it's saying that this is interfering with our housing. So this might actually be something we want to fix by enlarging the clearance hole diameter of the side cover. And this probably shows up multiple times if I keep going down the list. Yep, it's on all of these bolts. And I bet it's on the number 632 bolts too. And it is. So I want to using interference detection, I was able to identify a need to make my clearance holes in my side cover and my top cover bigger. And I'm gonna keep going, and it looks like I'm at the end of my list. So far I just need to make my clearance hole diameter bigger. That's how you use interference detection. What I would urge you to do right now is to take some good notes on how to use interference detection, probably the most important thing to write down is that interference detection is on the Evaluate tab of the Command Manager, and the fact that when we have fasteners in our assembly, we want to use a Create Fasteners folder to help sort out the different interferences better.